roll it up, we gon' burn it down.
Hello and welcome back everyone to PKIdeas for another tournament reflections video. So this time around we'll be looking at the Australian Young Masters, continuing on in the series, and we are looking at round number 5 against Henry White. This time around I am white, ironically, and the first move was knight f3, c5, followed by c3, knight f6, e3, e6, d4, d5, and you have a Collier system. Bishop to d3, bishop to e7, knight b to d2, b6. The normal move over here is usually castles. Castles, b6, queen e2, or you can also play d takes c5, b takes e5, e4, and you go into the main line of the collie. So instead, Henry decided to opt for b6. The plan is to play bishop to b7 and try and develop this really bad bishop in that sense, rather than playing something like e5. So after b6, I played castles, which is a novelty. Instead, I should have just done knight to e5 straight away, and knight fd7, f4, knight takes e5, f takes e5, castles, queen d7, queen e2, and castles. And this is pretty much a typical stonewall attack kind of line. However, I don't really like the stonewall, even though that I play the collie. One of the ideas of the collie is that you transpose into the stonewall, but I don't necessarily like it, so I don't want to play it. So instead, castles happened, and bishop to b7. Here, I played rook e1, knight b to d7, knight f1, and I'm maneuvering my knight back to g3, then to e4 again, because the knight seems a bit misplaced on d2, since you really want that diagonal open for the dark squared bishop. So after castles, you have knight to g3, rook to c8, queen to c2, c4. Now my bishop has nowhere to go, so I can either play bishop to e2 or bishop to f1. I played bishop to f1, b5. So here black is starting an attack on the queen side, but it isn't necessarily good. Negative 0.56. White is doing pretty okay. Black is just full of empty threats as far as I'm concerned, as well as far as book is concerned, in terms of the ideas that you play in the collie. But knight to d2, rook to e8, and f4. I start off with f4 because I want to play knight f3 and then knight e5, or he has also the idea of pushing e5 straight away, so I want to kind of block those ideas completely. Now what happened was b4. Now I played e4 myself. Knight to f8, he realized that there is a threat of me attacking his knight on f6, so he needs to make space, and he made the d7 square available by putting the knight back to f8. Now I played e5. Now in this position, if we look at white's pieces and compare them with black's pieces, we have two knights and two knights. My two knights are attacking the e4 square and stopping his knights from coming in there, and his knight on f8 is a bit misplaced. Maybe it would be better on g6. So his knights are a bit misplaced over here, and it's being attacked right now. In terms of the bishops, you have this light squared bishop that black has compared to my light squared bishop, where my light squared bishop can attack all of these pawns which are in light squares, whereas his light squared bishop is blocked behind his own pawns. Hence I have a better bishop and he has a worse bishop. In terms of my bishop on c1 compared to his bishop on e7, his bishop on e7 is slightly better than mine, but not necessarily, because in this position my whole idea is to play something like f5, meaning that this bishop is going to be attacking the black king side extremely soon. So in terms of other pieces, black seems to be doing well with his rook on c8, but not with his rook on e8. The rook on e8 is a bit misplaced. It's not doing much on the e-file. He's never going to open up the e-file right now, so there's no point in it being there. Maybe if this rook was on b8 and this rook was on c8, then I would have had a different opinion about black's position. But the position is as it is, and he can't do anything about it right now. So he played knight 6 to d7, forced f5. I start pushing completely straight away, and it's pretty much justified in this position because of the fact that his knights are misplaced and they're not very active. This bishop is misplaced and this bishop is misplaced. So in summary, pretty much all of black's minor pieces are misplaced. They're not on the proper squares that it should be, and hence black has a disadvantage. So b takes e3, b takes e3, queen to a5, knight to f3, and now he plays knight to b6. He's trying to go for an attack on my c-pawn, but I don't necessarily have to care about anything like that. I can go on my own merry way and defeat my opponent. So Bishop to g5, as the engine suggests, is plus equals. After I swap off his good bishop for my bad bishop, everything is going to be good. Takes, takes, and now I'm inherently attacking this h7 square, meaning that if he tries to move away, then I would obviously have knight takes h7, and then win material that way after king takes h7 and f takes e6 check from this queen on c2. So h6, knight to h3. My plan is to move to f4 with my knight, then play something like knight to h5. Knight to a4. Now I play a rook to b1, attacking his bishop. Bishop to a6, and now I play a rook to b4, defending my pawn on c3. He can't do anything about this position right over here. And if you see engine's evaluation here, it's pretty much +3, which means a solid win for me. Now, also keep in mind that this knight on a4 is being attacked by both my rook and my queen, so Henry has to do something about moving that piece away. However, he played the wrong move. He played rook to b8, extreme blunder. And can you guess what came next? Rook takes a4. And in this position, Henry chose to resign. Continuing onwards, after rook takes a4, queen b6, you have f6, g takes f6, e takes f6, and the king is also open. And once my queen comes onto here, the king is pretty much dead. So with that being said, that is the whole video. So if you are going to learn something from this game, if your opponent has 2 extra attackers than defenders, it means that his attack is eventually going to work, whichever side that he attacks on. However, if you've got maybe the equal amount of defenders, or he's got 1 extra attacker than defender, then you can pretty much solidly defend your position without losing material. So with that being said, that is the end of the game. A pretty poor game on Henry's behalf, because he just blundered a piece for no reason, actually. And he resigned from here. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please go down below to the like button and hit it for me. And also, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. Hit that red subscribe button. The more people are subscribed, the more it helps me out, and it helps you guys out because you learn more stuff as well. If there isn't any analysis that I had missed, or that I had run something over and hadn't explained, or the thinking behind the move, please go down below to the comment section and comment on it, and I will be happy to get back to you shortly. So with that being said, thank you, and I'll see you next time.